FAS Bookkeeping and Tax Services. In our practice, we've been using QuickBooks Online as our accounting software, and we've been using it for many years now. I decided to create a short video on the fundamentals of QuickBooks Online. This is a 4-part series. So the first part is getting started. Part 2 is how to navigate QuickBooks Online. Part 3 is probably the main event. That's the recording of transactions in QuickBooks Online. And Part 4, which is, for me, very important and my favorite, reporting using QuickBooks Online. Mind you that this video is not getting into the weeds or details of using QuickBooks Online. This is again just fundamentals of using QuickBooks, and I'm just covering those basic concepts about using QuickBooks Online and some of the commonly used functions within QuickBooks Online that you can use or apply in your business. Now, after watching this video and you think that's something I don't want to do or spend my time, I'd rather spend my time generating revenue or establishing a relationship with my customers, then no worries. We are here to take that burden off your shoulder. Again, I'm Christy Fontanilla of FAS Bookkeeping and Tax Services. So this is part 4 of a 4-part series on QuickBooks Online fundamentals. On this video, I will be discussing the different reports that you can run from QuickBooks Online. So first is we go to the reports, and here you will see all the standard reports per category. So here is the giving you the business overview, who owes you money. So that's all related to your revenue and receivables. The sales and customers analysis, what you owe. So this is all your payables, bills, 1099, all the expenses by check detail or by vendor summaries is where you can run it from. Sales tax, if you are invoicing within QuickBooks Online and charging sales tax, this is where you can run that sales tax liability report that you can use when you're filing your sales tax report to the state comptroller. Of course, employees, and then these are some of the reports being used by ideally by an accountant. So that's the standard. Custom reports is once you've identified the reports that you want to run on a monthly basis, you can set that up as a custom reports and save it, and then that would show up here on the custom reports. Management reports is more like a standard template when creating the financial package that you can send to your lender or whoever is asking for your financial reports. So let's start with the standard. So of course you have here the balance sheet and the profit and loss. So let's start with the profit and loss. So here you can actually run it total or by month. So I normally save it or create a customized report that would show monthly and then the year-to-date total. So let's say we want to have it total and then for up to like just August 31st. And that's the total. I want to see what is the percentage of income, because that is my way to analyze the different cost component as a percentage of the income or revenue. As I said, most of the small business owners use cash method, not accrual. So just a quick overview of the accounting method. Cash basis means that you record revenue based on the what you have received, not on what you have recognized, and the expenses are recorded based on what you have paid, not what you have actually incurred or the liability that you owe someone else. On the accrual side, accrual is more proper matching of expense and revenue. So under the accrual basis, you will record revenue based on what you have invoiced rather than what you have collected. and you recognize expense based on what you have incurred, regardless if you have paid them or not. So that's the main difference there. So here we'll just click on cash and click run report. So that would show me the total year-to-date August and then the percentage of income to the income. So I normally make this some customization here to make it look better when I'm starting to analyze it. So as you can see here, the discount is negative because that's a deduction from the revenue. There's other type of revenue here. So that's your total income or revenue for year-to-date August. You have the cost of goods sold here. So revenue less cost of goods sold is your gross profit. So that's your income after paying the direct costs you incurred in providing that product or service. Now, these are all the other variable and fixed costs that you incur in running your business. So you have advertising, auto expense. I would put this job materials as part of the cost of goods sold because, as I said, that's really a direct cost in providing the product and service, and it would help you in your pricing and in your decision making if you know what's the true cost of providing your product or service. So the other expenses here are legal and professional fees. So here, what it's telling you is the company had a net loss of $1,800 year-to-date August. And if I look here, what are the major cost component? Well, we have here miscellaneous. That is 57%. So I normally don't recommend creating or using the miscellaneous account because it doesn't really tell you anything, right? So I would suggest to have this more classified properly, whether it's an office expense or it's materials and supplies, then put that as such rather than coding it as a miscellaneous expense here because you don't really know what that is. And how can you make a decision if you don't know what you're spending 57.4% of your income? So that's the profit and loss. Now for me to save that on as part of the custom report, so I can put that as under a new group. So let's say financial reports 2021. So I'm going to add that, and then I will have that profit and loss total to go on that financial reports 2021. So I save that. So the next one is the balance sheet. So I said before on that accounting 101, profit and loss is a lot easier to analyze because you just have revenue less cost of goods sold equals to gross margin, less expenses equals your net income or your net loss. The balance sheet is a little bit more complex. So, but it's a very telling in terms of what really happened in the business. So let's just create that balance sheet account. So we'll custom report, then we'll do the up to August as well, and then we'll do cash basis run report. So again, I normally would like to show in red those that showing as negative, so I know if there's anything that doesn't look right. So here is your balance sheet. So again, you have the assets and then the liabilities and equity. So these two should balance, the total assets and then the total liabilities and equity. So you would see here the assets are presented from the most liquid to less liquid assets. So that's why it always start with the banking transaction, the bank accounts, and then you have the other current assets and then the fixed assets. So you have the current assets and then the non-current assets. The liabilities are your current liabilities, long-term liabilities, and then your equity here. So here it's showing that the company have a loans payable, they've got notes payable, there's an opening balance equity, and then there's a net loss of 1,800. So if we go to the opening balance equity, there's just some journal entries here that's been created, so we will not spend a lot of time on that. It's something that you would need to discuss with if you see that, you would need to discuss that with your bookkeeper or your accountant so you get a better understanding of that. So that's a balance sheet, and then I'm gonna save it again under my financial reports. So if we go to reports and we go to the custom report, so you can see here I've got the balance sheet, I've got the profit and loss total here. Now let's see if I want to see also the trend in terms of the P&L. So go to the custom reports and then do the August 31 and then cash. So here is, we will show it by month. So with this, we will see the trend. And then run report. So what it tells me is the company just started in May because there's no transaction January to April, right? But this one, again, I want to show anything that's negative. So I see if there's anything that needs some correction. So here is, you've got I wonder why there's no income in June. So that's something that would trigger you to ask question. If you know as a business owner that you had income in June, then why is it not showing here? So that's a good question to ask if you have an accountant or bookkeeper that handles your books and maintaining and updating your books. Then that's a good question to ask. On the total income here, so 391, July 800, August is 3,800. So that's really a good trend there, right? It's increasing. So maybe the company just really started in May, started building up their customers, and then started picking up in August here. So that's a good sign. Now you will also have a way to check the trend on the expenses here, and then that kind of gives you the visibility in terms of what's going on in your business. Where are you spending the most money, and does that make sense? And then from there you can ask questions. Now another good report to run is the aging. If you create invoices in QuickBooks and you provide terms to your vendors, then it's worth looking at your accounts receivable aging summary. So here it just shows you the different customers and then the aging of the receivables from those customers. So the bulk of your receivable is current, which is a good thing, but you also have 130 days and then 31 to 60 days and a little bit of the 61 to 90 days. So these are the customers that you need to start sending a reminder or following up, so you're able to collect from those customers. So that's another way to improve your cash flow, because you don't really want to be financing the business of your customers. So you want to check this on a regular basis, if possible weekly, and then you're able to act on it on a weekly basis. So there you have it. Those are really the key financial reports that you want to be looking at on a
on a monthly basis the balance sheet, and then the profit and loss total, and also the monthly trend on your P&L. With that, it's really more of getting familiar. So you start getting comfortable with running the reports, and then you get familiar with it. And with that, you start asking questions to your bookkeeper or your accountant, and make have that discussion in terms of what you can do to grow your business or be more cost efficient in managing your business. So there's so many reports here in QuickBooks that you can run, but I just kind of covered the main ones that you should be looking at as a business owner on a monthly basis.